Out there today, people. My name is Willie Short, and you already know what I'm going to talk about. I've been proceeding this child support case since '93. Here it is, 2018, and I'm still paying for a child that is not none of mine. I have the correct paperwork stating that this child is not none of mine. This is the father, John Wallace, the mother, Angie Dixon, and the son, DeMilo Dixon. I've been trying to get help everywhere. I've been everywhere in the state of Iowa, and I've still been getting doors slammed in my face. Quad City Times, Channel 6 News, the mayor's office, the courthouse, child support recovery. No one will help me with this because they know I have a case. They know I have all the proper paperwork. I even have my DNA testing stating that this child is not none of mine. But I will refuse to correct it. I have been getting death threats on my book page. And I always say, you know, death threats comes in all kinds of ways. I'm not shutting up. I'm going to keep talking until my story's told. And that's the reason I'm writing a book, How My Life Changed in '93. It's been since '93 that I've still been paying for this child. And I done reached out all over the state of Iowa to try to get some help, and even outside the state. And that's where all my comments come in, from outside the state. They tell me I have a case. The lawyers that I talk to says they don't have the degree to come to Iowa and fight this case. I see all of this on the news, Channel 6 News, Channel 8 News. They talk about all of this on the news. They talk about everything on the news, but I don't see them talking about why men are paying for kids that's not none of theirs. I even see it up there in Washington. You know what I'm saying? I see Donald Trump. I see all our Congress leaders talking about taking rights away, and they just doing unnecessary news to me. But I don't see nothing about a man paying for a child that is not none of his. So what my point is, what I'm trying to make here is, this is wrong, and they say we have freedom of speech. How is that? In Iowa, there's no justice, no peace. Because if you go downtown in Iowa, the lawyers, the judges, they sit around and they talk and decide your fate, is you going to prison or not. And a lot of people don't know, they always have the complainant take a guilty plea. That's because probation or prison time. You don't take the guilty plea, you go into prison. They sit around a table. The justice system here in Iowa is not here to help us. It's here to destroy us. And black men, they locking up by the dozens in Mexicans. And then they wondering why our state and why our state is the way it is today. We have 16 unsolved murders here in the state of Iowa. And it's going to increase more than that. There's a lot of angry people here in the state of Iowa. But around election time, the first thing they want to know is what Iowa's going to say. Iowa shouldn't have nothing to say. Because look how they're doing their men here in the state of Iowa. There's a lot of men that comes up to me when I see them and say, Will, I bag you 100%. I'm paying for, they tell me their stories. There's a lot of stories here in the state of Iowa where men are paying for kids that's not none of theirs. And I'm one of them. And that's bad that you can't turn to your family. I post all the time. I don't never see my family saying, we behind you 100%. I have people on the outside of Iowa that supported me. And I just want to give a shout out to Veronica Shorter, because she's the one who put this idea in my head to write a book. You have a story to tell. And then she also told me to leave it all in the hands of God. Yeah, I prayed on it. I'm still praying on it. But that's hard too, because simple fact is I wake up every day with this situation going on in my life and not knowing what to do. So that's why I say, you know, if you have paying for a child that's not none of yours, speak up, tell your story. You know, and for the ones that's threatening me, hey, I'm willing to die for what I believe in. Are you willing to die for what you believe in? You're not going to shut me up. You don't scare me. I walk around all through the night because, like I said, I'm straight. It's straight messing with me mentally and physically. So anyone see this story, share it. Like I said, I'm not going to shut up until my story is told. I have a voice, and I'm going to make sure it be heard. So all y'all out there, y'all think about what I said. Right now my mind is just running and I'm talking. But I had went to the local pastor, Pastor Kirk. And when I had showed him my paperwork, it kind of excited me because he really was looking at my paperwork and said, "Man, I can't believe this happened." But then when I go around and talk to older people about it, they tell me he's not going to help you. He works with those people downtown. Basically, Reverend Kirk going to slam the door in your face too. He going to tell you there's nothing that he can do. When we all seen your paperwork and we know they wrong here in the state of Iowa. So that right there stopped me from going to see Reverend Kirk, and he told me to write a letter, so I didn't even write the letter. What's the use writing a letter and waste my time when I know he's not going to help me? They, like the people said, and these are older people, not young people. These are like people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. They said he only going to help who he wants to help. So I thought about that when I told Reverend Kirk that I was trying to see the mayor and the mayor didn't want to see me. First thing Reverend Kirk said, "Oh, that mayor has nothing to do with that." The mayor has a lot to do with this. He's the mayor of Davenport. He's supposed to be able to look at my case and say, "Oh man, this is wrong. I can help you." But he refuses to help. So I'm in this fight by myself. And I'm not going to stop until I win. And if I die in the process of writing my book and getting my story told, I got kids that's going to carry it out. I have enough on paper that they can finish what I started. But for my family out there, and I'm not talking about my kids, I'm talking about my family that know me, that I grew up around, that's older than me, that don't support me. That's fine. Just remember this. When y'all get sick, I worry. Because y'all are my family. And I've been around y'all all my life as y'all watch me grow up. And I worry about y'all. But I see how family is. Things is going good in their lives. So, you know, what's going on in my life doesn't matter. And that's how I feel about my family. And like I said, thank you, Veronica Shorter. And thank you, Mike Morgan. Because them the only two right now that's really supporting me. That I say that's my family. That supporting me. Because my family here in the Quad Cities is not supporting me. But we're going to see when I'm done writing this book and I get my story told. Because I've been sending papers and emailing all outside of Iowa. And I've been getting some good response. I've been getting some good response. Lawyers from all over telling me I have a case. You could sue Iowa. You could sue Iowa for millions. But that ain't what it's about. It's about me telling my story and how long I've been paying for a child and how as a woman in the state of Iowa gets 2 child support checks. I got a friend named Willie Barnes. Right now, he's paying child support for one of my kids. The mama said he was the dad. Now you think about that. That's how confused Iowa is. How is my friend paying child support for my child. My child is 26 years old and he's paying child support for it. But he won't speak up. But I got paperwork on this. Iowa is wrong and they know they wrong, and I'm going to prove Iowa's wrong. They wrong. And any black person that's not on probation that can leave the state of Iowa, leave. They railroading our black men here by the dozens. And when I say they railroading us by the dozen. They are racist downtown in our justice system. They are racist. They all work together. I went to legal aid to help. They wrote a bad letter to try to stop me from getting progress done. And I still have that letter to this day. I'm coming after all of them in the state of Iowa. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it out of the grace of God, because he has the last say in all. So y'all stay tuned with me. We're going to see how this plays out. Only in America and only in the state of Iowa where a black man has to take care of a white man's baby, where they taking money from a black man. That's crazy. And John Wallace even wants to go on the news with me, so he want to ask the state of Iowa, why is Mr. Shorter still paying for my child? But you know what? I can't even get no hits back from that. Tracy Minor helped 2 white men before she interviewed me, and child support in the state of Iowa took care of it. And she told me that out of her own mouth. Then she said, well, let me interview you. I will come to your house that day and interview you. And she came that day to interview me. She thought that this was going to help me. But it didn't help me. So what that tell you? That's a discrimination against me. That's a discrimination against black men.